Hello everyone, this is Dan with Arcade Funkade. Today we're going to show you guys a Elvis Presley pinball machine we've been working on. And what we wanted to do is show you guys a little bit of what the difference is between the LED Ultra Brights and the regular style LED bulbs. So what we have here, I'm going to start out with the regular bulbs. You can see these guys down here. They have a frosted bulb. And you can see that some of them aren't that bright. You're gonna see some down there. They actually look a lot brighter in the video. I have no idea why. But this guy over here, you can see how bright these fellas are. You can see these little gold discs lit up. And you can see the difference there between these guys and these guys. They're just super bright. So we haven't done this side yet. We wanted to show you guys what these what the difference is here. And I'm gonna turn off the lights here really quick. That's probably a good idea. So these guys here, now you can tell how much brighter those guys are than these. We can just see them flashing. But yeah, so these guys are just your regular little bulbs, and I'm going to show you guys a difference between the regular bulbs and the ultra brights. These guys just light up like this whole half. You can see how bright these fellas are too. They just flash, which is really cool because of the fact that the Elvis Presley deal is really awesome. So we got them some stage lights. So the back here, now we have some lights back there, and we did this purposely so we can show you guys in the video. That's a regular LED bulb. That's one of our ultra brights, regular, ultra bright, regular again. So it's 1 and 1, and you can see the star shape that these guys are giving off, and you can see these guys in the middle here, how they're not as bright. So you can totally tell what that the ultra brights are just so much brighter. Same as these guys, just super bright. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing, the underneath the play field here. We're going to be filling in all these little lights. You can see that they're really dim. They're all yellow. So that's your regular incandescent lights. Once we're done with them, they're going to be this bright. So it's going to be flashing really cool down there. So all of them are your little regular glass bulbs. I got a bunch of them here. Let me show you guys. So what they originally come with are these little 4-4 bulbs, 47 bulbs or 44s, and this is your regular incandescent bulb. And these guys are your 44s and 47 bulbs, and these are the ones that are a little bit cheaper. They don't really brighten up as much. You can use them in certain areas, but I really don't recommend using these much, because if you want to get a really cool bright look, if you don't want it super bright, then you want to go with these guys, I guess. But the video, it shows on the camera that's a lot brighter than it actually is. So what I would recommend doing is just getting the other guys, which are these fellas here. You can see we have a ton of stuff going on here. We've been here for about 3-4 hours just changing out bulbs, and we're not even done with the lower ones. So these little guys, they have a single diode on them, and that's what these fellas are here. They're just super bright. You can kind of catch them there within the video. But yeah, it's just a single open bulb. It doesn't have that frosted cone or that cover over the top of these guys. And this kind of throws off the lighting. At times, there are some ultra brights that do have the gloss or frosted tops, and those are really nice. There's some really nice ultra brights, but the regular bulbs, they're just kind of dead. So you can kind of see back here underneath, it's kind of dim down there. And there's no bulbs on those little jet bumpers. And we're going to be changing those in a little bit. Those guys back there, they're yellow bulbs. Those guys are your incandescent bulbs, the regular glass bulbs with a brass bottom. So we're going to be changing those guys out. It changes the look, the entire dynamic and look of the game. We usually recommend people, when they buy a brand new pinball machine or a used pinball machine, but new to them. But yeah, one of those deals. We usually take these guys, the pinball machines, and we tell them, you know what, use this thing for like 3-4 months, beat it up, and then change them out to LEDs, or have us go through them or whatever you like. And we just change it up, and these guys are like, they just completely could understand and appreciate how amazing these LED bulbs are, and it just changes the look of the game. This thing, when it got here, it was just dead. Those LEDs are just gonna give them like stage lights, like stage lights, man. They're pretty cool. But yeah, so that's pretty neat. To have these little bulbs in here, they just changes everything. So we're going to be putting in some more spotlights. We have some spotlights here. This is just a little LED bulb. We got a little purple one in here, and that guy's just facing out. So we're going to be throwing some purples in the back to give it more a nice bright look. And we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff down the center. Now this video looks crazy. Like on the camera, it looks really cool. And in real life, same idea. You can see these guys just flashing like crazy. So it's pretty cool. The strobing doesn't happen the whole time you're playing the game, but it does kind of get in your way. So let's start a game. We got a flasher out. Look at this guy. Credit that. We're gonna play a little game here. Do over, baby. Now this thing is full of really cool features. One of them is this hound dog thing. You hit it, and it just flies up. And nice little heartbreak hotel. You got this guy dancing. Try not to lose the ball. Yep, lost the ball. Oh man, this thing's crazy. So that was the whole idea. I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you guys what this thing looked like. I don't know if you can see it's pretty dim and not so pretty until the lights turn on. So that's pretty crazy. It's a huge difference. It looked almost off when we first got it. The bulbs are just dead. This thing was ultra dirty. This dude's pants were like black. Everything was black on this guy. Same idea with this thing. His whole entire suit was just blacked out. We took a magic eraser and some glass cleaner and just cleaned the crap out of this thing without rubbing it down too much. And we didn't want to take off any of the paint or anything like that. It does have a nice little sheen over it still. So it's pretty sharp, and it's pretty. The colors are just really nice still. Playfield's amazing. I thought it was shot until we cleaned it up, and we're like, holy crap! It was a pleasant surprise. You can still see there's a lot of shine in the playfield itself. This was all blacked out. You couldn't even tell that it was purple. So there's some lighting back here that has to get changed out. You can't really see this rail. The lighting again in the video is really helping out, but yeah, you can't really see a lot of stuff in here. And we're going to be adding some other things. We're going to be doing some mirror blades on this guy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but we're going to be doing a part 2 so we can show you guys the before and afters. This is the during, I guess. So we're kind of showing you guys what it's looking like while we're moving along. And you can see what our magic eraser looks like after we were done. This is one of like 3 that we used, and it was just in the trash, so probably should have threw that back in there. But yeah, so these guys, they take a beating, and sometimes the dirt is its best friend. It actually covers the machine. It kind of gives it a little bit of a protective coating of all things, you know. So even these ramps were blacked out. They were all just, you couldn't see that they were actually gold. They were just blacked out here in the beginning. They were just a lot darker than they are now. You can see this guy's a lot cleaner too. So it's pretty neat. It still has a little gloss to it. But yeah, it's no broken parts. Just needed a lot of rubber. I had a bunch of missing screws, and I think there was something that was supposed to go here, but it was missing when it got here. So it's crazy. So these guys usually break. We had a problem with this guy. Hopefully this helps somebody. We had this thing launching balls like crazy. It was just shooting out all the balls when it got here. This guy wasn't working. This guy wasn't dancing. We had to change out some motors in him. And in the back, there's a little flipper up top here, and that guy was disconnected from down below. So there's so many little things wrong with this guy. We had this left flipper stuck. It was intermittent. It was just trying to go and doing its own thing. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what happens inside these guys and what we had to change out. And again, hopefully this helps somebody, because this took us a little while, a couple hours here to figure out. Even though we do this all the time, you never know what you're going to run into. And what we did is we changed out some of these diodes, these little diodes underneath. So the balls, when you have a ball fall in, you're supposed to have these little tiny mini switches. You can see them through the hole here. So the balls are sitting on these switches, and they give you a closed switch, a closed signal. So if these guys aren't working properly, if you have your diodes not working, they're behind this guy, the little tiny diode, and those little black things there. And if they're not working, then you're not gonna get a read or a signal on your switch. So what you want to do is have all your switches, all your diodes, and every switch. You got to make sure that they're connected, and sometimes you got to swap them out. These are the 1N4004s. They're pretty common, and you can find them on Amazon. You buy 1,000 of them for like $10, so that's pretty nice. These guys too, your solenoids. This is what pops your ball up and out into the trough. And this guy here, these are your opto sensors. So this is what senses. There's two of them, one here and one on the other side. This little red light. It gives it a little beam. They kind of talk to each other. So when the ball hits, it cuts the beam off, and it knows that there's a ball there, and it's ready to get shot up. So we had to change the diode on this guy. We changed the diode on this guy as well. This guy was also kicking out balls and just not doing so hot. The little wiring in the back, the little wire back here, it just fell off, and it didn't. Once we were working on it, it just fell off. So that was kind of nuts. And I guess that's probably what happened. Just the bad connection burned out the little diode in there. There was no need to change out the solenoid, which is kind of cool. And then this guy here, again, was just going like crazy, and it was really loose here from just getting itself beat up. There was a burned fuse and a burn spot on the circuit board in the back and the PCB board. We had to take that off and change out a row of diodes. And I don't know what the heck happened up there, but it had nothing to do with this. But there was nothing going on back there. There was bad sound. There was a bunch of other stuff going on, but that's a whole nother video. But yeah, this guy right here was one of the biggest issues. The diode, it just kept kicking the crap out of those balls out. So this guy was kicking the balls out. This guy just kept slamming the hell out of them. So they had a combo of three things happening. Bad diode on the first switch here. So it just kept not reading it, and it just kept popping up balls. And then this guy just wouldn't stop. It was just dropping, just karate chopping these balls up into the game. So you'd be having multi-ball in every single game. So that's one of the things that happens at times when you have bad diodes. Sometimes it's a bad solenoid, bad connection. Sometimes it's good to just resolder your wires. Some of these soldering jobs are just crazy on these things. I've seen people that have alligator clips holding these things on. I don't even know how they work, because I've tried to alligator clip things myself just to test, and they don't work. You actually got to solder the wiring on, so that's nuts. But yeah, so there's a whole nother deal. A lot of people ask, like, I gotta say this one again. A lot of people ask why they can't get their machine fixed within a day or two at times, and again, there's a lot of stuff going on down here. This is a little rail and motor that runs Elvis. You can see him up there, his little face up there in the crack. This is what makes him go back and forth. These two little motors down here run the gearing, and there's big motor here runs the actual bar that runs him back and forth, and those two little ones are what kicks his legs left and right. We learned that because it was also a diode burned down in this fella, so that was amazing. And we changed out these two little motors, and we got them back to kicking again. There is some crazy spray. We did see some people silicone spray these things. I have no idea what the hell they were doing with that, but they sprayed them everywhere, even on these guys. I don't recommend ever doing anything like that. You can cause a short, and that's probably what happened. and that is just pretty nasty actually to try to touch that stuff. It just got shot everywhere. I think it's like silicone, grease, I don't know what it was. All I know is that somebody leaned this thing up, and through one of these holes, they oversprayed and hit this freaking this power supply back here. So that's nuts. So you want to not do that. There's so many little things going on in this guy. The way these guys work too, there's so many little switches and things that just happen. You can tell my fingers, my God, how dirty they are just from just popping these guys off. I have calluses. I can't even feel my fingers on rubbing on each other right now. But yeah, so every little lamp switch has its own little diode, as you can see. So if one of these goes out, sometimes the whole row goes out or just one goes out. And sometimes the bulb doesn't even go out. I don't even know how that works sometimes, but it just happens. There's so many motors, so many solenoids to go through. We go through every single one. Sometimes we just swap them all out just to refresh the entire machine. I mean, you don't have to, but we've had customers ask us if we could. Now, another thing we have going on with this guy is that we have a solenoid that looks like a cat scratched the crap out of it. And what that is overheating at times. Overheating and just overheating. Yeah, this guy over here doesn't even have the paper anymore. So over time, sometimes they give out too much heat, and again, they just burn out or do whatever. So I don't know, I've ever seen a flame out underneath a pinball machine live, like in person, but I have experienced pinball machines that are they have been burned. So they're pretty bad. They've melted. We have some out back actually, an Adams family of all things that are just burned to hell. So we're going to be working on that and showing a video on that when we're working on that fella. But we want to show you what the interior or underside looks like of what the hell is going on. What powers this entire machine up? There's so much going on with these fellas that people don't understand, and they're like, dude, I don't know how you can't fix this thing faster. And holy crap, does it take time? Especially when it's in depth. Sometimes you have board issues. The board's not working with you, or parts aren't working with you, and it gets crazy. Sometimes we could repair these guys in 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 months. That's how it works. It really sucks, but that's what it is. So yeah, we're going to be doing, again, the mirror blades are going to be really changing that up, and we're going to be doing a couple more spotlights, and this thing's going to be super badass. It was so dirty, man. You couldn't even see what color these things were. They were like really nasty. But this is so cool. I can't believe how nice it came out. I'm actually impressed that the dirt actually protected the playfield in this case. That hardly ever happens. Usually the dirt just sands down to the wood. You know, people just don't care. And this is a really nice machine. These are anywhere in the $6,500 to $7,500 realm. And it's really nice to see. And we took the back glass off in case somebody comments, where's your back glass? We have it set somewhere. God knows where it's at in the shop, but it's somewhere safe. We're probably going to have to do like a 3-hour search party to find it, but I don't know, man. I really don't know where it's at. But yeah, so we're going to be throwing that guy on later. And a lock. I guess it came with no lock. We had to drill it out. No key. We had to drill that guy out, so that really sucks. That's annoying. So yeah, so there's a bunch of other stuff. You know what? We're going to go over one more thing. One thing that's really, really important. We found that this little battery holder here, it had 3 little batteries, AA batteries, and this is usually one of the biggest culprits of what really ends up killing the pinball machines. These guys end up just losing or dripping acid, some alkaline, and that's one of the biggest problems that we have, because then they start dripping into these little RAM chips, and they just kill the little EEPROM feet, the legs on these guys. They just eat them away, and sometimes you can't even tell anything's going on, but that acid is dripping back and behind the board, and this whole section behind the board is just gone. And you're like, how the hell did that eat it up? They're just bubbled up nastiness, and it's just not working. We take it all off, and we discover that amazing, beautiful holes we see out back. So that's really crazy. There's so many things going on with these little boards we could explain. It would take us like 5 hours to explain all the stuff that's on here, so we're not going to do that. We just wanted to show you guys the beauty, how cool this thing looks, and a little bit about it. We have a little Maverick that's been having us pull our hair out. Oh my God, I can't even speak anymore. It's late. It's like 12 o'clock. And anyway, yes, so this guy really tore us up. it's a whole nother video. I'm gonna be showing you guys all the stuff that we did to this fella. New boards, bad wiring, lots of duct tape. I have no idea why the hell they use duct tape, but they used it and we had to fix that. So lots of duct tape, and it's just bad stuff. So we're gonna do a video on that guy later, and hopefully you guys like the video on this Elvis. It's pretty badass. We're still excited about it, and we'll show you guys a part 2 of it finished. Thanks for watching, and this is Dan with Arcade Funkade saying game on and have a good night. Have a good day and take care.